Regaining soul. Behind the word soul, John Ito tells us in the Dictionary of Word Origins, lies the ancient notion of the soul as something fleeting or mercurial. For its prehistoric Germanic ancestor, he writes, Saiwalo was related to the Greek let's see if I can pronounce this, aiolos, quick-moving. The Buddha gave us the image of a stream to capture the flowing movement that we, in our essence, are. Modern physics gives us the image of vibrating strings as the stuff that matter is made of. Like a stream that flows from a source high in the mountains, we too automatically flow from within to without. Feelings of tendency flow into consciousness with no effort on our part, expressing the harmonious interaction of various systems in our organism, the electrochemical processes going on within us. Our feelings are the link with those automatic, unconscious bodily processes within, an inner system of signals telling us how we are being affected by what goes on within and without. We feel sadness at loss, fear at the threat of loss, and anger at violation. Happiness is the feeling we feel when our needs are met, when the flow of our being is unobstructed. Everything we do because of some need. We can't turn off our needs. They are always on, always motivating. When they are frustrated, an obstruction occurs in the electrochemical flow of processes we are. Some lack exists. So it's not a matter of having our needs met or not. Our needs are our imperatives, the requirements of soul. To recognize that is the first step in regaining soul, in understanding how to restart the flow the quick-moving soul is. We need air and water and food. No ifs or buts about it. We all have physical needs that must be met. But our physical needs are just the obvious ones. We all have psychological needs too, and flow is obstructed when we lack them too. We all know a person whose psychological needs were not met, who suffered some obstruction to soul. We derogatively in our culture sometimes call them crazy. For Mother Nature exacts a price when flow is obstructed, when soul is messed with. It wasn't a need for food or water or air the crazy person lacked, but a sense of identity or recognition from others or affirmation from important people in their lives or a sense of belonging that was absent. And without these psychological needs met, they suffer mental illness, an illness of soul, of flow, or more precisely, aren't living from within to without as I process. They may look alive, but something is missing, and they know it, even if they can't name it. They lack a genuineness, an authenticity, a bodily gutfulness that they would have if in touch with their feelings. In place of that, they have an adapted self, a fixed, immobile concept of who they are, a self from without to within, more attuned to the needs and wants and expectations of others than their own needs flowing from their own biology. There's an outward focus where an inner rootedness should be, a rootedness emanating from the depths of their own being. These soulless ones lack the interests and meanings that come from their depths, the biological depths of who they really are. Our needs define what's missing in our lives. We need to reconnect with our true needs to have soul again. To understand that, you have to recognize boundaries. There are boundaries between I process and other. We have different biologies, and from that spring different needs. It's not a matter of likes and dislikes, but who we are on a cellular level. That's where needs originate. This process, this I process, this process of soulfulness or flow, begins at the very beginning of our lives. We are then. But to sustain soulfulness, we need an optimally available person there for us. We need someone to attend to our needs even when we are shitty or crying, especially then. We need, and someone must be there to meet our needs, who can figure out what it is we need and supply it, to find out what is obstructing flow. Now, if that early person in our lives isn't good at guessing what we need, the I process begins to become chaotic. It's then flow might start to go from without to within. In place of I process as the foundation of being, an adapted self arises. That's when an outward focus arises, where an inward focus should be. That's when we begin to lose soul, a quick moving that ebbs from our own unique tendencies. When our needs are fulfilled, when our tendencies are actualized, we feel pleasure. When our needs are frustrated, they call out for gratification. We become needier. Psychoanalyst Joseph D. Lichtenberg, with his motivational systems theory, postulates we have 5 systems that make up our basic needs. The need to fulfill physiological requirements, the need for attachment and affiliation, the need for assertion and exploration, the need to react aversively through antagonism and/or withdrawal, the need for sensual and sexual pleasure. At any particular time, one or another of these motivational systems assumes dominance. Each system, Lichtenberg wrote in an article in the Journal of the American Psychoanalytic Association, has a biological and a neurophysiological base, assuring survival. Lichtenberg continues, I regard needs as fundamental requirements for biological survival and psychic integrity. When our needs are met, he explains, we feel a sense of vitality. When the fundamental needs that underlie each system and the wishes that develop in the course of life's vicissitudes are relatively compatible, a basically harmonious sense of self is felt. When needs and wishes are persistently discordant, patterns of a pathological nature develop. Soul, or craziness, that's Mother Nature's bottom line. So to regain soul, you must be in touch with your needs. Needs pinpoint instructions in the flow of our natural biologic tendencies. Find people and environments that allow your natural tendencies to be actualized, your needs to be met, and you become stream, quick moving again. That's Mother Nature's recipe for regaining soul.